What is going on, guys? Fresh off vacation in Florida, back to the cold weather. A little bit icy here. We got an ice rink on the deck. Don't have my skates with me though. Sun's popping through. It should melt this off. And a little bit windy, so it's great. I just finished our layout for our doors, and yeah, time to start stripping all of the layout, put it to the side, and then we'll start framing this big wall because that's going up first. Couple things you got to figure out beforehand. Have my windows built out for the ROs. You're gonna need to figure out your heights, and the plan on this one, you know, architects throw me off because the doors called for 6'8" doors, and then they're showing the windows. You know, technically your windows should be the same height as the top of your door, but we have 6-foot windows in the front, so 10-foot walls. Typically you would do 8-foot doors. So if you did the windows the same height as the top of the door on a 6'8" door, it would be 1 foot. A 6-foot window would be 1 foot off the top or off the ground, which would be kind of weird. And then you'd have a few feet above. So what, 3 more feet above. So it would look offset. We're gonna raise everything up to 8-foot doors. And then the windows will be centered 2 foot below, 2 foot above. For those big windows, I think we only have 1, 2, 4, 3 of those, maybe something like that. So a lot of the other ones are like 4-foot windows, a little bit more reasonable. So got our 10-footers cut down to 116 5/8. I split our top and bottom plate, and I laid it out as close as I can. There's gonna be some differences for double studs and whatnot. So I'll start crowning these. We're gonna go crown up or towards the outside of the house because the wall is gonna lean up like this, and just make sure we have a nice wall. You know, the lumber ain't perfect. So I'm gonna try to get the bottom plate as close as I can to the edge, because when you stand it up, you're not gonna wanna fight the wall and move it that much further down there. So you kind of, especially on a 70-foot wall, once it's sheathed, there's no really moving it. You can get a little bit of leeway, but not too much. Man, my plan flew off while I was framing, I guess, so I had to go look for it. I was like, oh man, hopefully it's not blown away. Luckily, I looped all the way back around from the road, and it was over here behind this dirt pile. So we have the main floor of our plan still. Very important. So this is the door that's gonna lead, or would have led to the garage, which is gonna be breezeway, and then eventually to the garage when we do build one. So we're gonna put the header in and then create studs all the way down there. We went ahead and put our jacks in first. That way we can build our headers, and then we can just slam it right tight to the jack and put our cripples above. We're using 2x10s for most of our headers. Some people build headers with 2x. I do it 3, and I put 1/2 inch plywood in between. Gives you a perfect 5.5 inch header. Some people will put insulation in there, that 1 inch of insulation, or you know what, 2.5 maybe if you build a double header and then leave out the plywood. But I'm gonna get some thermal bridging a little bit. You have thermal bridging all over on each stud if you're not doing insulated R value, insulated sheathing. So I'm kind of okay with it. We're gonna stop all the air movement, which is gonna be super helpful. And if I have a nice strong header, I'm okay with a little bit of bridging there. So every window and door is up. Besides this, I just have to double check my LVL. We're gonna use a 12-inch LVL, as our header here. It'll just be just shy of 12 foot. And that's only gonna be a double, so you will have a little bit of space to put insulation there, but everything else is a single. And this header, this 12-foot header for this big slider in the back, will also have a double jack. So it's gonna have 3 inches under the header. So let's get building. I got headers laid out here. Got to put them together on a nice flat surface. Super easy. On your jacks, you're gonna have 3 nails securing it to the king, about 18 inches apart all the way up. On your header, you're gonna have 1 per 2 inches, so 5 for a 2x10. Getting about down to maybe a third of the stack left here, so a little bit low. I don't think baby tractor is going to be big enough to pick up this stack yet, so still cutting at an awkward angle, but oh, these freaking things. These are cut to 1/16 and 10 or 5/8. I say 10. I like to use my measurements when I'm remembering more than one measurement. I think it's easy for me, at least, to just keep everything out of a 16th. So that's what I do. Kind of throws people off when I work with different people, but I try to make it happen. You know, I don't work with huge crews, so it doesn't really matter that much. But yeah, just pre-cutting our studs here, and yeah, gonna square up this last wall and put the LVL in. I could put that in 2 sections and then do the LVL up there, but I think it's just gonna be easiest if we do one in place. So I don't know, I like the idea of it. One and done and clean. We're not fighting the LVL up there on the edge of the house, and everything will be nice and taped. So we're gonna get after it. Just prepping, getting help today. You should be here soon. But yeah, throwing these studs up, might as well do something. Let me know down below. I usually don't film like first person view. It's kind of windy, it sucks. The audio, yeah, let me know if you like the first person view of working. Obviously it's a little distorted because I'm trying to get a wide field of view for wearing this mount, but yeah, let me know. So we're doing an 8-foot tall slider here. So just measuring from the bottom, because this bottom plate will get cut out, obviously.
inch in it.
So we pulled 16 foot from the top and the bottom. We then squared it up, made sure the measurements are the same. We laid our first sheet of zip, full sheet on the top, flush with the top plate. So it already has this double top plate on, which will be sturdy. And then we went with our siding nailer. We're using framing nails in the siding nailer. Not ideal, but it'll work. And went and secured everything, adjusted our depth so we don't get over penetrations. And then on the first one, we will mark to make sure our studs are straight. So Ryan just got the second row cut. They're gonna be staggered every 4 feet or whatever. So I went with lateral over vertical. You on this wall, you would end up with doing 2 blocks. Technically, you're supposed to block the breaks in the sheets on the wall. So at each panel, you'd have to block it. You can get away without doing it, but technically you're supposed to. So if you did vertical, we'd get away with 1 block. We'll have to do 2 this way, but the benefit is we can adjust our studs, those wonky studs that are sticking out and not on center correctly halfway through the span. We can correct those with the sheathing. So that's why I went with that, and we're gonna get after it. Running flush on the top plate, and we'll just adjust the wall as we go down to make sure it's nice and flat. This row is all done here. It being so long, we had to use a sledge to bang top and bottom plates to get it straightened out. It's nice and straight now, and this first row is perfect. So second row is going on nice and easily because we have that straight line. We do have some breaks in here where it doesn't really make sense to put a sheet here or a full sheet there, so it's cut. And then we're just gonna continue over here, and yeah, full sheet there. So it kind of went off pattern. It doesn't really matter, it's still staggered. You might notice it from the outside on this one wall just because it's opening so big. you guys, the wall is taped, zip tape, and yeah. So we got our transporter wall lifts up to the 10-foot wall mark, and it should land and grab it right there at the top of the wall. A little bit windy. We're trying to knock this out real fast, get some drone shots, and hopefully it goes well. What is going on, you guys? So yesterday I bit off more than I could chew. These two wall jacks said they could lift up to 70 foot of wall. This is 71. I was like, yeah, it'll do it, no problem. Sheathed it and went to do it, and obviously it is sagging way too much, super sketchy, and they really couldn't lift it. So we blocked it, left it for the night, made a call. Nick is going to help me out with his excavator. We took the wall jacks off and we moved them further out to the side. And then we were going to tie 2 chains to the center here and try to lift simultaneously. I don't know if I would ever lift a wall this big again without more, but yeah, let's see if we can get this. All right, guys, the past few days I have not been recording. It was super windy out here last week and I was working and I had a weight on the bottom of the tripod, but it didn't do its job. The camera fell over and my tripod busted. So I was like, kind of hanging off on doing that. We have some walls up. The big wall up behind us over here. Let's see if I can spin this around. Got that big wall up. So this leaves us with this big 26-foot wall over here, and then a couple 13-footers in the front door, which will be easy. The corner ones have to slide down and around to get the sheathing to interlock into that corner post. So hopefully I'm gonna have help with those today. I pre-built these 3 walls and somebody's gonna come help me. We're gonna sheathe them and then throw them up. So it should save a lot of time not having to frame those today. Show you real quick on this front left wall. As you can see, this goes all the way to the edge. So on here, we're gonna overhang our sheathing about 5.5 inches so it can go over on that spot, right? And then it's 16 on center all the way down. Got your king, goes all the way up, jack, goes to the bottom of the header, and then your cripples under. And you keep those in line with your 16 on center or 24 on center spacing. So that'll continue all the way up. Then you put your blocking in up here above the header to lock that in and transfer the load all the way through. So it's a nice continuous support. These 2x10 headers for this 2-foot window opening is probably a decent amount of overkill, but we're doing 10 headers here. So I'm just building it continuously with the same header, which is nice and easy, and everything will be fine. I definitely want to have help with this wall, as this is our drop-off wall here. So yeah, decent amount of snow down there if you fall, I guess, but well, we're not gonna be on that side of it when we're lifting it, but let's do it. Yeah. 71.25 on this next sheet. 71.25? Yeah. Boy, oh boy, you guys, some of that was a little bit sketchy. We made it happen. It was nice to have the tractor to pull those walls over. Definitely easy to pull the wall when it's on the ground and a little bit safer, more than when it was already standing up. We should have just removed that brace like Mike said and lifted it as close as possible to there. But yeah, everything is braced up. All we have left is 2 shorty 5-foots and then this one door here. And that won't be slid over. That'll just be popped right into place. And yeah, it will be nice and easy. You probably just use one jack on there, drop it right into place. The 2 5-foots I might build in place because just it would have been almost smart if I would have put those in before we did these corner walls, but I had the help today and got those sheathed and all stood up today. So super happy with that. Tomorrow I could probably bang out those 3 walls. So then we will be done on exterior walls. After that, we have to go to our interior walls. We do have one load bearing right here in the center, which our LVLs connect to. And then we have an LVL to sit across there and come out to the center. And then another one over that first bump out here. But yeah, productive day, starting to sprinkle. We got a date for our floor system, which is a week and a half away. And I have nose surgery next week, so yeah, we're gonna get it done, and then a couple weeks after that we'll get our trusses done. In the second story has to have walls on these 2 rooms over the bump outs before then, so a lot to do. Super exciting coming along. Once we get this dried in, we can get our electrician in here, a plumber, we can get our concrete foundation poured in the basement. Super happy. Thanks for watching, guys.